Good morning, my friends. I think it is still morning on the west coast of the United States. And so I'm joining you here as I do daily to see how we can maximize our creativity and maximize our capacity for well-being during this global pandemic of the coronavirus. So many people are calling me and asking, how am I spending my time and what am I doing? So I'm happy to share that with you. Today I would like to suggest that during this period of physical, social distancing, I have to be careful. Physical, social distancing. That doesn't prevent us from connecting. Just physical, social distancing. It does not mean isolation. It does not mean loneliness. In fact, this is an opportunity for all of us right now to help maximize our capacity for physical, mental, emotional, spiritual well-being to make sure that we optimize our immune status, our endocrine status for not only self-regulation and homeostasis, but for resisting the morbidity and mortality from this global epidemic. So, what are the 5 areas that I am focusing on right now? These are as follows, and not necessarily in order of importance, although one is more important than the other, and I will come to that at the end. So, maximizing our capacity for healing in the body, in the mind, in our relationships, in our life purpose, and finally, in spirit, the most important. The most important. So, to maximize the experience of healing in the body, 2 things are more important than anything else, and that is the cycle of rest and activity. Rest, as in deep sleep, and activity, as in movement. This is the nature of existence. Rest, activity, stillness, dynamism, stillness, dynamism. So be very focused on restful sleep and movement, even inside the house, or if you're in nature, or if you're in a secluded neighborhood with not too many crowds in that area, try and move at least 10,000 steps every day. And if possible, maximize vagal tone through deep breathing and feeling the body and practicing some kind of mind-body coordination. For me, that is yoga and pranayama, because the different yogasanas stimulate, as I've said before, different branches of the vagal nerve. And the more vagal tone you have, the more resilience you'll have. So cycle between deep rest, activity. In addition, of course, to proper nutrition. I would say just start with that as far as the body is concerned, with the intention always to maximize the experience of a joyful, energetic body. That's it. Point number 2. maximizing the capacity to heal through the mind. And I've said very frequently, and I'll repeat it again, it is important not to forcefully be positive if you're feeling stressed. But it is important to manage stress. And for that, we need a quiet mind. A quiet mind is much more powerful than a positive mind. Because as I've mentioned, a positive mind can be a turbulent mind. So this is the time to meditate, to practice self-reflection, to pray, to introduce subtle intention in the quiet mind, to go beyond the internal dialogue, which is always in the habit of maximizing the drama from every personal story. So every time you have a thought that is troubling, or even when it's not troubling, once in a while, ignore that thought and focus on only one thought: I am. I am. And if you want the mantra for that, aham. Aham. I am is prior to all experience. It's prior to all modified forms of consciousness. I am is the closest to pure consciousness. And in pure consciousness, there's always maximum self-regulation, stillness of the mind. Ignore most thoughts that are unnecessary and focus on one thought: I am, aham, existence, I exist. And be grateful for that. Quieten the mind. That is how we maximize healing in the mind. And then the third area to focus on is, of course, relationships. And that is because our emotions are connected to relationships. So the more we can collectively engage, FaceTime, Skype, WebEx, whatever, with friends and family, the more intimacy we can establish in terms of empathy, what others are feeling, compassion, the desire to alleviate suffering, and then love in action, because love without action is irrelevant. Action without love is meaningless, but love in action, even right now, by offering to help each other in any way we can, even remotely, we engage in acceptance of the situation, appreciation for each other, affection for each other, deep caring for each other, and also focus on just a deeper understanding that right now we're all in this together. So acceptance, appreciation, affection, and joy in our relationships is very important right now. Okay? Acceptance, appreciation, affection, and just staying in touch all the time with each other. And one intention only, one intention: let us help each other in any way we can. In any way, whatever comes to mind. Okay, the best way to increase your capacity for happiness is to, right now, focus on everybody else's happiness. And every time you feel concerned, ask yourself, who am I thinking about? And you'll see it's about yourself. So shift your focus from thinking about yourself to thinking about all of us here. Okay, maximize your capacity for emotional well-being through relationships. Body, mind, relationships. Fourth thing to focus on is life purpose. It's such an interesting time to reflect on what is really important for us. Is personal pleasure the most important thing, which is the habit we have as human beings, focusing on personal pleasure, whether it's entertainment or shopping or alcohol or whatever. Right now, it's important to focus on meaning, purpose, dharma, refuge in the dharma, higher purpose, refuge in the sangha, this community, refuge in the Buddha, expanded awareness, creativity, insight, intuition, imagination. We have time right now to reflect on meaning, purpose, and ask ourselves, what is my story? What has been my story? The backstory. What is the story now? What is the story of the future? We have time to do this now. And then the final thing that I wanted to mention is to shift our awareness from all modified forms of consciousness once in a while. Modified forms of consciousness are symbolic representations of consciousness as mind, as emotions, as body, as relationships, as environment. But consciousness not modified is called pure consciousness. And that pure consciousness is infinite possibilities, infinite inseparability, correlation, synchronicity, the source of intention and attention. Also, the grounding in the wisdom of uncertainty. And if we shift our awareness from experience to that awareness, if we shift our attention from experience to that in which the experience is happening, the consciousness, then we also recognize that consciousness, pure consciousness, is independent and intrinsically free of its modifications. That is the highest healing. And that is the highest joy. That is also unprovoked truth, joy, awareness, and creativity. But even more important, unprovoked, pure love. Love as the ultimate healer. Love as the fact of inseparability. Love as the ultimate truth at the heart of creation. So, in order to kind of conclude with this summary of 5 things to focus on, I would like to read you a poem from Rumi. This is from The Way of Passion, a celebration of Rumi by Andrew Harvey. Harvey, a great human being. And this poem is called The Voice of Silence. And I'm going to read it to you now. It starts by saying, all things begin and end in silence. All things are born from silence. Silence is the nature of the mind and of the heart and soul of infinite being, that which we call God. Let me read it to you with slight modifications. Lovers share a sacred decree to seek and know the beloved. Lovers share a sacred decree to seek the beloved, to know the beloved. They roll head over heels, rushing towards the beautiful beloved, which is our own self, our own spirit, our own soul. They roll head over heels, rushing towards the beautiful one, like a torrent of water. In truth, everything and everyone is a shadow of the spirit of the beloved. And our seeking is the seeking of spirit, and our words are the words of spirit. At times we fly towards the beloved like a dancing stream. At times we are still water held in the pitcher of pure awareness. At times we boil in the pot, turning to vapor. This is the job of the spirit of the beloved. The spirit breathes into my ear until my soul takes on the fragrance of the beloved as music. The beloved is the soul of my soul. How can I escape this pure joy? But why would any soul in this world want to escape from the beloved? The beloved will melt your pride, making you thin as a strand of hair. You do not trade, even for both worlds, one strand of the hair of the beloved, of the spirit. We search for the spirit here and there while looking right at it and from it. Sitting by the side of spirit, we ask, "Oh beloved, where is the beloved?" Enough with such questions. Let silence take you to the shore and the core of being. Let silence take you to the core of existence. All our talk, all my talk, is worthless when compared with one whisper of the Spirit. Let silence take you to the core of existence and take time to just be. As Rumi said, God's language is silence, and everything else is poor translation, including this. So be still and know that God is here in the form of your own being. Your own being. Let the silence heal us. Let the silence make us holy, and let the silence make us healed.